Hello and welcome to highlights of the 1990 San Marino Grand Prix, brought to you by Microprose and GP2Joey. Round 3 of the season sees Formula 1 head to Europe and the immensely fast Imola circuit near Bologna in northern Italy. And that can only mean one thing: Ferrari and its army of tifosi fans. The 3.1 mile circuit is bumpy, fast and flowing, and coupled with the noise, colour and atmosphere of the Ferrari faithful, it promises to be an exciting race. Last year's winner Joey Davis is still out of action following his testing crash at the same circuit in February, but having finally won his home Grand Prix last time out in Brazil, Ayrton Senna will be doing all he can to send the expected crowds of 150,000 into a state of delirium by winning his second consecutive race for Ferrari. With 2 races gone, it's Senna who sits on top of the driver's standings on 13 points, one ahead of the surprise of the year so far, Martin Brundle in the Arrows, with defending champ Alain Prost in 3rd place. After their sublime start to the year, it's a resurgent Arrows who find themselves leading the constructors' standings on 19 points, ahead of the mites of Ferrari and McLaren. In the news leading up to the race, Arrows boss Jackie Oliver remained cautious about his team's start to the year, whilst at Williams, Patrick Head confirmed a new FW13 chassis would be rushed out for an unhappy Nigel Mansell, and Joas Porsche confirmed Roberto Moreno's return. The new circuit de Catalunya was also confirmed as the venue for next year's returning Spanish Grand Prix. Held under blue skies, Friday morning's 30-minute pre-qualifying session was electric, and complete with the newer spec Porsche engine, newcomers Joas Racing continued to impress, but for Pierluigi Martini the session was a complete disaster. Catching the life driven by Bruno Giacomelli, the Italian veteran dangerously blocked the much faster Minardi on his in-lap and cost Martini and his team any chance of making it through to the race qualifying. So it was Thierry Boutsen fastest for Joest as F1's newest team progressed for the 3rd straight race, along with Eurobrunn and Onyx, whilst their rivals were left to pack up and head home early. Friday afternoon's first qualifying session was intense, with many drivers mere tenths of a second apart, but there was disaster for Mansell in the new Williams when his Renault engine expired whilst the Brit was on a hot lap. For Ferrari fan favourite Senna, there was joy as the Brazilian romped to the fastest lap to send the crazy tifosi into an even higher state of pandemonium as he took provisional pole by over 0.4 of a second ahead of the McLaren Hondas of Prost and Piquet. Gerhard Berger was 4th in the second Scarlet car, with 5th place Mansell only edging out Williams teammate Mark Blundell, who was in the old car, by 1/1000th of a second, and again the midfield was looking very tight. After the session, Mansell complained about his new Williams chassis, whilst the bosses praised Blundell, who was just simply getting on with things. Later there was surprise, as news then broke that Arrows designer Ross Brawn had left with immediate effect for the Jaguar sports car team. Saturday morning, and before any cars had hit the track, came confirmation that the classic Interlagos layout would be staying for next year's Brazilian Grand Prix, and Ferrari made the shock announcement that their chief designer John Barnard had left the team. When the action began, rookie Blundell continued his impressive start to the year, building up speed in the old spec Williams, whilst Mansell managed to find some improvements in his new Renault Power chassis, but they were still over half a second off the pace. Elsewhere, Piquet continued to push his McLaren Honda to the limit as he fought to improve, but ultimately it wasn't enough, as Senna claimed pole for Sunday's race despite not beating his time from Friday. McLaren were on form once again with Piquet and Prost in 2nd and 3rd, with Berger in 4th ahead of Mansell in the Williams, whilst Arrows seemed to be in trouble, and the Eurobrunn of Oscar Larrari impressed in 14th, whilst it was Tarquini and Modena who both failed to qualify. After taking his 3rd consecutive pole, Senna was quick to praise the home support of the tifosi and said he was hoping for a scarlet victory on Sunday. Later that night, news then broke that John Barnard had signed to replace Ross Brawn at Arrows on a 2-year deal, with the Englishman starting in July, just in time to build their 1991 car. So it's Senna on pole, with Nelson Piquet in 2nd place, then his defending champion Alain Prost in 3rd. It's Gerhard Berger in the 2nd Ferrari 4th, then the Williams of Nigel Mansell in 5th, Martin Brundle in the Arrows is 6th, Blundell is 7th, then it's Johnny Herbert in 8th place. 9th is Riccardo Patrese in the Benetton with teammate Nannini 10th, Jean Alesi is 11th in the Tyrrell, then it's Martin Donnelly 12th, Derek Warwick is 13th, it's Oscar Larrari in 14th, with Eric Bernard in 15th. Moreno is returning in 16th place. It's Ivan Capelli in 17th. Nakajima's 18th. Maurizio Gugelmin is 19th. Then it's Stefan Johansson in 20th. Aguri Suzuki 21st. Thierry Boutsen a surprising 22nd. JJ Leto 23rd. Yannick Dalmas lines up 24th. It's David Brabham 25th. And it's Alex Caffey 26th. We're ready for the San Marino Grand Prix. It's 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights. Go, go, go! Senna's away from pole position, but look at Nelson Piquet. Piquet in that McLaren, he's off to an absolute flyer and takes the lead. It's Piquet ahead of Senna with Prost in 3rd. Mansell is 4th. It's Berger 5th. Blundell 6th. Brundle's up to 7th. Tracy 8th. Herbert is 9th. Nannini's 10th as they thunder through Tamburello at 180 miles an hour now on the approach down to Villeneuve. Senna's alongside Piquet as they're heading down towards Tosa, but Piquet takes the lead again. Piquet's back in front. They're under the brakes now. They're coming under brakes. And Senna goes for the lead into Tosa. Senna is on the inside, and Senna takes the lead. And listen to the crowd roar as the Ferrari takes the lead. It's Piquet now 2nd. Prost is 3rd. Mansell is still 4th in the new Williams chassis. But look at the 2 arrows of Martin Brundle in 8th place and Johnny Herbert in 10th. Arrows are really struggling this weekend. They were really good last time out in Brazil, but they really seem to be struggling with the understeering car this weekend. And look at Senna as they thunder down towards Acqua Minerale chicane. He's through the left, he's through the right. And look at the crowds, they're on their feet as Senna in a Ferrari leads in Italy. It's a fantastic start for the Scuderia. Into the chicane they go, into the right and the left. It's Senna now, he's already half a second up the road from Nelson Piquet. We've got quite a few strategies we think are going to be playing out today as Prospect looks to make a move on Piquet, but he can't do it into Ravazza. Into the double left-hander, it's Senna in front. We've got some drivers that are going to be making 2 stops and some that are going to be trying to hang on to do 1 stop today, but we think that it's going to be Senna and Prost that are going to be 2 stopping along with Nigel Mansell. From our understanding, Piquet is going to be trying for a 1 stop, so it's going to be interesting to see what he can do in that 2nd McLaren. Into the final chicane, Senna now over the line for the first time. He's ahead now, he's 0.8 of a second up the road. He's 1 second ahead of Prost in 3rd. It's Mansell 4th, Blundell is 5th, Berger 6th, Patrese and the Benetton is up to 7th. Then it's the arrows of Martin Brundle in 8th place. Then in his 9th with Johnny Herbert in 10th. Into Tamburello they come. Prost looks like he's on the attack. He's going to try and take Nelson Piquet. Is Piquet going to be able to let him through as they both approach the Villeneuve bend? It's Piquet. Piquet blocks ahead of Prost there, but he can't get through. Nigel Mansell just hanging back slowly, but we think that Mansell in the new Williams against his teammate there, Mark Blundell, he's going to be struggling today to try and get any decent speed out of that Williams Renault as Johnny Herbert makes a move on Nannini. Herbert, he's up to 9th now. Nannini's down to 10th place with Alesi in 11th there, and you can see the 2 Lotuses of Derek Warwick and Martin Donnelly right behind them as they come up to the right left-hander, and there's Nannini 10th. As I said, it's Alesi's 11th, it's Donnelly 12th. Derek Warwick is 13th. And look at that in 14th place. It's Oscar Larari in the Eurobrun Porsche. What a day for him and the team. After a difficult start to the season where both cars of Oscar Larari and JJ Leto, they both failed to qualify in America and in Brazil last time out. And now they're in this race and they are making a very good account of themselves in 14th place. It's Eric Bernard in 15th. Then the 2 Joas Porsches again of Moreno returning after his testing accident in February, and Thierry Boutsen his teammate. Then it's JJ Leto in 19th place. 20th is Ivan Capelli with 21st, Maurizio Gugelmin. It's Yannick Dalmas in 22nd, Nakajima's 23rd, Brabham 24th, Suzuki 25th, and Caffey's 26th. And look at Prost. Prost is on the attack again, and Prost going to go for the inside down into Ravazza. He's passed ahead of Piquet. What a move from the defending world champion. And Nigel Mansell looked like he was trying to get in on the act. And here's Mark Blundell ahead of Gerhard Berger. And Berger's going to go for the inside, but he can't make it stick. Look at this battle, the 3-way between Blundell and Berger. Now we're on board. Is Gerhard Berger going to be able to make a move into Villeneuve? I think he will with the power of that Ferrari engine, but he can't. And Blundell just cuts across him. And look at, that's Martin Brundle. Brundle's gone ahead of Gerhard Berger, and he tries to take Blundell at the same time. Martin Brundle, what a move. He can't make it stick on Blundell though. That Williams was just too fast. And we're on board with Senna across the line now to complete lap 5. He's already set the fastest lap, 1 minute 24.845 seconds. Has Ayrton Senna got this race already booked and paid for like he did in Brazil? Time will tell, but you can see that he's already 1.8 seconds up the road from Alain Prost, with Piquet 2.9 seconds behind. Nigel Mansell 4.3 behind. Blundell was 9.1. Then it's Brundle 9.3. I think we need to see some footage of that because I suspect that Martin Brundle is going to be on the attack, and he is. Martin Brundle's on the attack to Blundell, but again he can't make it through. Fantastic bit of defensive driving there from Mark Blundell as we look at Oscar Ferrari. And Ferrari's off! Ferrari off! I'm not sure what seemed to happen. He maybe had a stuck throttle there, or he just made a mistake at Ravazza. But Ferrari is off, and that is such a shame for the Argentinian. And we're back on board now as Brundle. He's going to try and take Blundell. The Arrows, can he do it? He can't. Well, we do believe that the Imola engine in the back of that Arrows is a lot more powerful than the Renault at the moment. It's about maybe 20 horsepower more. Brundle's going to go for it again. Is Blundell going to block him? He is. Great bit of defensive driving from Blundell. This is very difficult actually to be able to tell the two drivers apart. Brundle. Very difficult. Well, it is. But here we go. We've got Brundle. Is he going to try up the hill now? We think he's going to give it a go. It looks as though he's going to go for the inside. I think he pulls out. But Blundell, is he going to keep the position? He does. Fantastic driving. Well, Mark Blundell has really impressed this year. He's stepping in for Joey Davis after what happened to Joey Davis at the same track here back in February when he had that awful testing accident with Nicola Narini's Ligier, which really caught everybody unawares and obviously was almost a very tragic accident. As we can see, Johnny Herbert's on the attack now to Gerhard Berger. Berger really seems to be struggling this year in that Ferrari. And back up front in the other Ferrari, it's Ayrton Senna now. He's 3.2 seconds up the road as Riccardo Patrese comes into the pits. It's a little bit of an earlier pit stop schedule than we thought. He was going to be stopping around about lap 18. But I guess that Benetton are trying to get Riccardo Patrese a little bit of track space to be able to maybe get ahead of Johnny Herbert and his teammate Alessandro Nannini once all the pit stops are completed. But meantime, up front, Senna just casually drifting away into the lead. And there's Martin Donnelly. Martin Donnelly again, another failure for him, for the Ulsterman. What a shame as the Lotus is now going through the chicane, the right and the left. And that's another retirement for him. And that's Gerhard Berger. Gerhard Berger in the Ferraris pulled over at Tosa, I believe that is. Berger's into retirement. Oh, what is happening? And there's Boutsen. Thierry Boutsen's off in 21st place. The Joas Porsche has pulled over to the side, and I think that he is also now going to be out of the race as Ayrton Senna's into the pits. Ayrton Senna's into the pits, and is Piquet going to come in? No, he doesn't. So it looks as though Piquet is going to stick with his one-stop strategy. Piquet is obviously adopting the two-stop, and Alain Prost is in. So as we suspected, Prost is also making two stops. And Piquet thunders down towards Tamburello now. He's coming up towards the back markers now, and that's Nakajima slightly ahead of him. Piquet's going to be catching him at a fairly quick rate of knots there, and you can see that the Onyx is there with Leto. And that's a Williams attacking Prost. I believe that is that Nigel Mansell? No, it's Mark Blundell. Blundell's going for a move on Alain Prost. And that's a good move for Prost to keep him behind, because that would have really cost us some time. And Alessandro Nannini's engine has expired. There's smoke billowing out of the back of it, and Patrese manages to squeeze past his teammate. But that's Alessandro Nannini's day done. Patrese, he's on the attack, but look at Piquet and Prost again. Piquet, he's going to try and keep Prost behind him. He does. Just about into Villeneuve there. Prost, maybe he should have just kept it a little bit further as David Brabham retires. He's out of the race as well. Maybe Prost should have tried to hold back and then gone for the move down into Tosa, just like Senna did at the start to Nelson Piquet. Up to the left-hander now, up the hill they come. Piquet, he's still ahead of Prost. Fantastic driving, and Senna's in for his second stop now. He's going to get the car stopped in the Ferrari garage. Stopped nicely on the blocks, the lollipops down, a little wipe of the visor from the chief mechanic. The tyres are on. This is going to be interesting to see now, as we understand that Alain Prost is coming in, and Prost is in, and he's held up Ayrton Senna. And I wonder if McLaren have done that deliberately, possibly to enable Ayrton Senna to fall back even further behind Nelson Piquet, as Nigel Mansell also comes in for his second stop. Mark Blundell is up to 5th place now. Prost, he's still, but we understand he's had a decent stop, but Senna's was quite slow, and he's out of the pit lane now, heading towards Tamburello. But where's Nelson Piquet up the road? Because I think that means to say that Senna, once Piquet stops, Senna's going to be he's 9.5 seconds behind him. And he's only got about 25 laps or so to make up that time. That's going to be interesting to see if Senna can do it. And there's Alain Prost, he's behind Senna into the left-hander now. Senna, he's trying to chase down Piquet, and Senna's off! Senna, he's pushed it too hard. He's spin that Ferrari. Senna, he's off at the left-hander. Can he get the car going? Has he stalled it? He's slowed. He's come to a complete stop. And he's waiting for the traffic to pass. And there goes one of the Larousses. There goes a Lacey. And there's Alain Prost. He's through into second place. Senna, can he find the reverse gear? He's got to get it in reverse gear because... And there's Nigel Mansell. Mansell's up into third place. Senna, he reverses the car. He's got it going again. But Nelson Piquet out front is now way out in front. And Senna, he's trying to chase down Mark Blundell. And this is Senna. This is going to be a repeat of their battle at Interlagos when Blundell was actually overtaking Senna. And Senna's going to try for it at San Marino, but he can't make it past. Blundell's going to make that Williams extraordinarily wide. Herbert in 6th place behind the two of them. Then it's Patrese in 7th. Warwick 1 lap behind in 8th. Eric Bernard is 9th with a lacy 10th. And Senna goes for the inside into Tosa. Senna's through. Well, it was slightly inevitable that Senna in that Ferrari, he's going to have obviously the red mist between himself. He's going to feel such disappointment at going off. And there's Johnny Herbert. Oh, what a tragedy for the Arrows team as the Ilmore engine blows up, which has usually been very reliable this year. But Johnny Herbert's out from 6th place. We're on board. This is Mansell. This is Nigel Mansell now. We're on board as they come over the line to start the 52nd lap. He's got Ayrton Senna right behind him. Senna's going to pull out. Senna's going to go for the inside, but I think the Mansell's going to keep behind him. He does. Senna thinks better of it. They're coming up to lap 1 of the Lotuses, and that's Derek Warwick in 7th place. Mansell, he's got to be careful here because Senna's going to be going on the attack into Villeneuve and he can't make it as Nigel Mansell comes to the inside of Derek Warwick into Tosa and he's through, and Senna can't quite get through either. And that means that's going to give Nigel Mansell a little bit of breathing space, with Senna going to be able to try and get past Derek Warwick on the approach to Piratelli, but he can't do it. Derek Warwick just cuts right across that Ferrari. A little bit of not dangerous driving, but there was a little bit of bad sportsmanship from Derek Warwick there, who finally lets Senna through it down into the Acqua Minerale. And Senna's through now, and now Senna's going to really try and chase after Nigel Mansell, who's now maybe 2.5 seconds up the road. But I'm pretty sure that Senna on fresher tyres, he's going to be very close, and he is now as they come down towards Ravazza. Senna's going to go for it. Senna is going to take that 3rd position and that final podium place away from Nigel Mansell. That's going to be very frustrating for Mansell, but there was literally nothing he could do. Senna, he's only on one stop. He's on one mission, and that's to try and reclaim some of the lost faith that he's had. But Piquet's coming through the final turn now. This is the end of the race now. Sam Piquet's out of the last turn to take the checkered flag, and Nelson Piquet wins the San Marino Grand Prix. What a drive from the Brazilian. That's his first win since the 1987 Japanese Grand Prix, with Alain Prost across the line to take another 2nd place for the McLaren team. What a day for them. And Senna, after leading the race, he's through the final chicane, and Ayrton Senna, the crowd is still cheering, but Ayrton Senna takes the flag to finish 3rd place for Ferrari. But he's going to be disappointed. But what a day for another Brazilian, Nelson Piquet. A fantastic win for Piquet then, and his first in over 2 years. It had been a long time coming for the Brazilian, and for McLaren it was confirmation that their tyre strategy for him had worked. With Prost 2nd, it was a great weekend for the team. Still reeling from his rare mistake, Senna was a disconsolate 3rd for Ferrari, ahead of the Williams pair of Mansell and Blundell, with Riccardo Patrese a fine 6th for Benetton. Afterwards, a joyous Piquet beamed at the relief of finally winning a race after such a long time, whilst defending champ Prost was content with his 2nd place and happy to see his teammate on the top step of the podium. And Senna apologised to the whole of Italy for throwing away a possible win and vows to avenge it at the next race. After his 3rd place finish, Senna's lead in the driver's standings was cut to 2 points ahead of Prost, with Piquet in 3rd, with Brundle and Herbert dropping to 4th and 5th after both Arrows failed to finish in what had been a poor weekend for the team. McLaren were now back on top in the Constructors' Championship, ahead of Arrows with Ferrari in 3rd, Williams 4th and Benetton in 5th. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time for round 4 of the 1990 Formula 1 World Championship in Monaco.